What is happening, Magnus sites? Get on over to Star Wars Theory, subscribe. Tell them Tyrone Magnus sent you. I know you guys were laughing at my pain last night. Now, because we're all in pain, it's time to all laugh at Star Wars Theory's pain. Let's get it, baby. Oh, everybody last night was talking about how this episode ended and they had they have some hip hop music or whatever at the end. I think that's the first, right? Yeah. It's funny because yesterday in the same day, the Gladiator trailer was released and they put rap music in the trailer. And, you know, it was kind of one of those things. Denzel's in it. He's black. Let's put some rap in it. That'll get people to watch. It was like...
I think maybe that might have been the worst episode that we've ever had. I think that was just such utter amazing writing that, I've never witnessed such greatness before in Star Wars. I feel like that was the best Star Wars that we've had so far with Disney, and I'm really happy that they turned this show around to make it such a cohesive experience and storytelling and character arc. And I stand corrected, man. Leslie Hudson she outdid herself on this one. I mean, the writing was even more shocking than ever before, and I feel like that's a pretty hard thing to do, considering this whole season is just such an absolute split personality of every episode is just so convoluted and confused.
It is split personality how May wants to kill everybody, then she changes her mind on a dime like that with no type of story reasoning, really. Just, my sister's alive. Okay, I'll change. Yeah.
Confusing.
Something else
that
I was
it just
thinking
does not make any sense whatsoever. I mean, not only do the...
Yeah, because I gave the episode a 1.5 woos. He thinks it might be the worst episode, period. So
characters not even know what they want. And I mean all of them. I mean, Kymir's killing, then all of a sudden he wants Osha, then they have some sort of like a weird sexual tension, and which is so strange that he like kidnaps this girl and takes her to this island, and it's just very, I don't know, weird. And then,
weird.
And we have, this episode alone, I'm still having a hard time getting over the fact that he's standing there, and she thought it would be a good idea to write that, it's going to be this really cinematic moment with a lot of tension and emotion where he's trying to hold the bridge for these two, 50-pound girls to stand on it, instead of just picking them up both with the Force and then bringing them to him.
And trust me, I thought of that. I thought of that when I was watching it. Like, I could have just bring them over. You've got these metal girders, this bridge split in half that probably weighs thousands of pounds, which shows you he's strong in the Force. And he could have just picked the girls up, but he didn't.
He's literally using the Force to hold the bridge up. Lets go of one of them. The other one falls. Instead of just using the Force to hold her, which would have been like, okay, all right, he's doing it with one. He literally runs like a regular human and tries to grab her at the last second. Please, someone defend that. Please, somebody defend that.
Well, we all know from episode 1 that Jedi have super speed. We've only seen it used once, though, but they have super speed. They can jump really high. I assume that, all their senses are augmented. I assume their strength is also augmented, too, through the Force. Yeah.
They're like, oh, didn't George change things? George understood the world and the confines that he created within Star Wars. This show is constantly just breaking lore. He doesn't understand the Force. Doesn't understand anything to do with the characters, how Jedi work, how they operate. What the hell? Who are these Jedi? They're all so emotionally confused. All of them, every single one of them. It just does not reek. Jedi are supposed to be composed.
By the way, they wasted Carrie-Anne Moss. They wasted her. Period.
The only one that wasn't composed was Anakin Skywalker, and that's why he stood out. But these Jedi, what the heck? They're running amok, man. I mean, the soul guy is just like,
come on.
oh, her M count is...
Where's that from?
Oh, what is it? Oh my God. It's just such a ridiculous show. This is probably the worst Star Wars project I have ever seen in my entire life. I would rather...
It probably is. Like, seriously, I'm trying to think of everything that I've seen. It's one thing to be angry as a fan and irritated by stuff they do. But it's another thing to be angry, irritated, and put to sleep. You are literally sedated by this show and put to sleep. Its biggest sin is that it's boring. So for a lot of people, they messed up the lore, they woke it up, and it's boring. That's bad.
Watch 50,000 hours of Andor's bricks and screws. Which, mind you, all I said in that comment was literally, oh, it doesn't really look like Star Wars. There's bricks like from a construction site and screws like a Phillips screw head, which George never had in those. It was all smooth sandstone. It was all that stuff. But, of course, the people who want to defend the projects always like try to find something there to twist my words. But with this, I mean, I don't even got to say anything. If you defend this, man, hats off to you, dude. This is you're doing probably a better writing job and coping job than Leslie Headland did when she was writing this story. Because I don't think she even knows what the hell is going on. This is just so ridiculous, dog.
You know, it's funny. It makes me think of Transformers, the first movie, Transformers, Michael Bay. Okay, now you're talking about a guy that knows Transformers, the animated G1. Watch it, I'm sure, hundreds of times. This series, as a child growing up. I have the DVDs, and I was thinking to myself, the first Transformers movie was a hit, and Prime, it's, when you know a character as a fan, remember when Sam wouldn't give Megatron the cube? Give me the cube, boy! Remember that? And he was up top, and he wouldn't give it to him, and he's like, no, and he's like, oh, so sad, or whatever he said. He knocked him off, and Prime caught him. I got you, boy. Remember? Prime would have also saved the guys in the helicopter. If you are a G1 fan, there was a helicopter that crashed too, right? Because of Megatron. He would have caught Sam and either caught the helicopter or saved the guys in the helicopter too. I remember watching it and be like, wow, he just let the helicopter, wow, that's not Prime. I remember even when I saw him behead, I forgot what his name was, Bone Crusher or whatever, under the LA, speedway. He's looking around. It took him forever to reach the battlefield, didn't it? I've seen that movie several times. I was like, damn, it took Brian forever to get in, But anyway, there's things like that when you're watching them. Well, my point is this. When you're watching a movie like that, and you can see that they're messing with the lore, so Prime is more violent and murderous and doesn't care about every single human, apparently, which is what he was not like in the G1 cartoon. However, the movie was good enough for us to let certain things go. That's what I mean by that. Even the designs of them, they weren't perfect. Especially Megatron was not perfect. However, the movie was good enough to where we let a lot of that stuff go. I know a lot of people had nitpicks. I had my own too, but it was good enough to let it go. None of this stuff is good enough to let it go. You see what I'm saying? And that's the problem. Fans can let different changes go. For me, example, I'm not like the comic book Joker. But you like me. Some people say I'm the greatest of all time. Right? There's certain changes that can be done, but sometimes they just work. You know?
This is just so... ass. Just complete ass. Horrible. Horrible show. Garbage. Literally $180 million. Wrap your head around.
Ass, horrible, and garbage. Oh, by the way, can someone send me a link to a video or an article or something? There's a lot of people that seem to think that Disney is allegedly laundering money through the Acolyte because it costs so much, but people are like, well, where's all the money at? Because we can't tell, because this is CW Star Wars. You got what I'm saying? Someone explain this to me. If you can in the comments or send me a link, I would appreciate it.
On that. This is... Revenge of the Sith was 114 million. Revenge of the Sith. This was 180 million. They couldn't even get the green screen right when the guy was using the speeder bike. What in the world?
Yo, that was weird, wasn't it? It was like when he stopped, right? Was it when he stopped? I was like, in my reaction, I was like, that was weird. By the way, that reaction will be up when I get it up. I'm going to try to get it up today. That sounds weird. But pause. But I'm going to try to put the reaction up. There you go.
In the world, like, I'm just getting more and more frustrated because this is just so laughable. And I just, it's like with each episode that goes by, the shills have to do an even harder job to cope and try and explain the story.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, and look, if you like the show, more power to you. Enjoy it. But don't try to shut someone up that is spitting facts about how this story just goes completely against George Lucas Star Wars.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I like and love plenty of movies that universally are loved by fans, right? People try to discredit me for liking stuff like Revenge of the Fallen. Like, that's a guilty pleasure for me. You know why? Because I'm such an Optimus Prime fan. They made him a major badass in that. Because he shouldn't have got his ass kicked by Megatron in that first movie like that. I've watched G1 enough. I know Megatron does not do that to Prime, okay? Even if you want to talk about the movie, Prime still beat him. The only reason why he got killed is because Hot Rod got in the way. That was it. You know what I mean? And Prime cares too much about life to shoot and with the chance of hitting Hot Rod. You know what I mean? So, that's why. I loved Prime just whooping ass like that. I really did. And that's why I like it. That's it. You know what I mean? I guess you could say I just watched certain parts of it, like as a whole. No, but I loved it when it came out. I was like, finally, now I got Prime whooping ass. That's what I'm talking about, But people were like, oh, he liked Revenge of the Fallen. How can you take his opinion seriously? You know what I mean? So it's like I know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's I don't know what that's called in debating. I know there's a word for that. I know there is. It's like, no, you can't just credit this person just because they like this. That doesn't mean that, they don't know what they're talking about. Don't even try it.
Destroys the Phantom Menace and destroys what the Jedi are supposed to be anyway. Oh, these aren't the Jedi of the Phantom Menace. Well, this is 87 years before that. So please tell me what happened that the Jedi have changed so much in only 87 years. That's like the year, that's the age of a grandfather. Like, you're telling me this thousands of years of Jedi have changed that much in this short amount of time? I mean, it's just, the level of cope is unbelievable. And like I said, I will bring anyone...
It is amazing. I've gone through my comments, and I could have swore I only found like three comments praising that show last night. 3 out of like hundreds that are up there, maybe even thousands of comments now. Nobody likes this. There's like few people like, you guys are crazy, your show's great. I was like, yeah, okay. Is that a bot comment? Or is that a real person?
On this channel and debate with them how this show is just such utter trash. And
it's a big old piece of trash.
Makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah, this is not canon in my mind, dude. This is bullshit.
No, yeah,
this is not canon at all. Mandalorian, sure, okay, it's canon.
Yeah.
I like
let
Mandalorian.
that go. Yeah.
But this is bullshit. And again, like, don't take my word for it, man. Just watch the episode for yourself and decide. But this is just freaking insane, man.
Look at all the zeros out of 10 scrolling by.
$180 million of it, too. Why wouldn't they put that into the Reva lightsaber they were making that didn't make the actual quota for them to start in production? Please explain how this resulted in Torben committing suicide. Yeah, that too. I didn't even think of that, dude. I got other things to...
Yeah, a lot of people are like, wait, so why did he kill himself then? Why? And I was reading that in the comments, and I was like, yeah, I didn't even think about that. They still didn't give a reason.
Freaking ponder about with this episode here. 79% say this was a 0 out of 10. 9 to 10 out of 10. Well, I'm glad 4% of you liked it. And look, to anyone who liked the show, I'm happy you liked it. Right? Happy you liked it. Anybody who sees someone liking the show, don't disrespect them, don't dog them. And the vice versa. If you see someone that doesn't like the show, don't disrespect them, don't dog them. Everyone's got a right to their own opinions on what they like and what they don't like. Yeah. This channel's ass. Hey, don't be mad, bro. Don't be mad that I'm spitting facts and I'm one of the only ones doing it when everyone else is just...
Like when your boy gets, an ugly girlfriend, but you see that he's happy. You're not going to talk about her, right? You talk about her after they break up. Leave him alone. He's happy. Leave him alone.
Just, this is great poo. I love it. It pisses me off that this gets a green light and we don't get an Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 actually done right. You guys give $180 million for this and you give 90 to Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Well, let me tell you this. I'm glad they didn't further destroy Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, that was the Reva show.
Seriously, somebody up there got to get freaking canned. Don't deserve to be working at Lucasfilm. Ridiculous. Well, you know what? Lucasfilm ain't even what it used to be anymore. It's not even what George created anymore. It's just Disney now. It's something else.
Yeah, this is.
He just couldn't torb it anymore, so he offed himself. Did you notice the Padawans in the temple were doing the Annie-Obi spin while training? Well, I noticed that in this one, too. I guess Anakin wasn't the only one. It's just, it's like more shit in this episode is essentially trying to connect to Anakin Skywalker and tell us that birth was not the first one. The whole thing that was so special and groundbreaking about Anakin was that he was a virgin.
Can't wait to meet Mrs. Star Wars Theory. I'm like, there's got to be a woman out there that's as big of a fan of Star Wars as this man right here. They're going to run into each other one day. It's going to be like, la, da, 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 da. They'll run toward each other in the posies. La, da, da, da.
Virgins in the Force. Qui-Gon came to him, I found a virgins in the Force. And everyone's like, a what? But just freaking...
Oh, by the way, I made a joke about it being virgins in the beginning of my video. Can you believe I found comments that were like, it's virgins, you idiot. I was like, wow. How stupid are they? I'm like, they're this is what it is. I guarantee you this is what it is. I've been doing this long enough to know what it is. This is what it is. People are watching a video and they immediately stop it as soon as they hear me say one thing without hearing me elaborate or finish my joke. And then they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. It really means... This one guy, I was scrolling through, he was like, just so you understand, Tyrone, virgins is... I was just like, delete. Get out of here. Like, watch the whole video and see that I understood what a virgin's meant.
87 years before, they found a virgins in the Force that the Jedi literally went to, and then they end up telling the Council about it. That these Frickin' dumbass witches created two Force-sensitive children from the Force. You know
Didn't
what?
they mention night witches in this? I think they did, right?
You know how Anakin was made? Let me tell you. Everyone thinks that Darth Plagueis created Anakin. No, it's false.
Mm-hmm.
Darth Plagueis tried to create, with Palpatine, by influencing midichlorians to create the perfect Force-sensitive being, a dark side Force user.
Mm-hmm.
He failed. The Force said, no, you cannot do that. You cannot manipulate the Force to your will and create something that is an abomination, that favors the dark side. So what it did, what the Force did, was it created Anakin Skywalker randomly in Shmi. Anakin Skywalker is the Force's answer to Plagueis trying to manipulate it to create the perfect dark side being. This is what happened.
And I was thinking that too. I was like, you know what? I used to think that. I was like, like when the movie first came out, I was like, was he made by? I was like, that's insane. That's crazy. That I was like, but the story actually kind of works if Plagueis did make him in a way, and he didn't. He manipulated the Force to create life, and through Palpatine trying to take over the galaxy and become Emperor, through serendipity and things working out in Palpatine's favor, he also runs into the child made by the Force through Plagueis. Like I found him. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. And now that I found him, who my master created, now I can manipulate him. I have to try to manipulate him to the dark side. That's what was kind of in my head, years ago. But as I've watched more stuff, I was like, you know what? Anakin, I think, was the answer to the dark side, kind of like the pendulum swinging, yin and yang. He was the answer to the dark side becoming too powerful, because they said he would bring balance to the Force. So how can he actually be Plagueis's creation? This would sound like a Force creation to me. You get what I'm saying?
Happens when you have someone who does not understand shit about Star Wars. And maybe, you know what, Leslie understands like 1 to 2 points above what someone who has never seen Star Wars understands, or maybe someone who watches The Mandalorian, and maybe she's impressive to them. But my God, if you're making end credit music? What do you mean? Yeah, it's some witch bullshit. I don't know, it's not. I just love Star Wars so much, and it just pains me to see this shit. I really, really don't. Like, you can enjoy this and say like, yeah, okay, fine, but like, if you think that this is now coming in and it's replacing the Phantom Menace essentially, so that everything that Qui-Gon found and everything that Jet...
Darth Vader is arguably the single greatest movie villain of all time. And I've always hated the helmet. Always. And I've seen artists take liberty in the comics and stuff with how they draw him. And they will draw the helmet better. A more menacing, he almost had that sleeve stack, bubble-eyed. I never liked the helmet. Ever. I liked part of the outfit, the flowy stuff, the cape and everything, and the stuff on his pants. I liked that, but Vader was never looked badass to me. I just didn't like him because he was the villain, as a kid. And as I've gotten older, I like him more. But I would say the most badass showing of Vader was Rogue One. At least in the helmet and everything. Not Vader. I never think of him as Vader there, even though he would still be Vader because after he turned. But he became Vader. Oh, Vader. Rise.
That I went through in the Phantom Menace is essentially null and void. Why are you guys asking me to listen to the music? I'm not going to listen.
Quick question. I'm thinking about that whole Rise part. Man, a lot of, people talk, even Red Letter Media talked about it, like how, Mr. Plinkett was saying something about how, like how Palpatine gets a rise in his pantaloons whenever he feels Anakin's power or whatever. I thought it was really weird how Anakin got on his knees in front of him like that. I was like, is this this feels weird. This does not feel right with how he's looking up at him. I was like, I can't be the only one that thought that when that scene happened.
Listen to that shit credit music. Not doing it. It is modern pop music. What is this shit? It's just Star Wars. It doesn't matter. It does matter. If we don't keep these people accountable, man, it's, you know, we're just going to keep getting some shit like this for $180 million.
Oh boy. Well, post comments down below. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed my reaction and thoughts, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers.